This episode of BOBscaping, we're going to build a low wall and soil ramp so that a tractor can be driven into these double doors. So what we'll be doing is placing a wall along this lower edge and then backfilling above it with gravel behind the wall and then soil to finish making the ramp. The first step will be laying out a straight line off the edge of the shed, extending forward about 12 feet to create the base foundation of the wall. Okay, so we have marked out a line, the lower line where the face of the wall will be on the lower side of the shed, and next we start to dig. Okay, so we've excavated a shallow trench. The next step will be adding some gravel to create a base for the wall. We've added gravel to the bottom of the trench, tamped it, and then laid our first timber in and checked it with a 2-foot level left to right and a torpedo level front to back. Next we'll be drilling our holes to drive in these sections of rebar to brace the bottom timber. Okay, we've gotten our first timbers in place, the base course timber, and we've started on the second course and added 3 dead men. There's the first dead man. By having dead men extend back into the behind the wall, that helps to give it strength and stabilize it. You also notice we have spiked the wall. We like to use the galvanized spikes. They're a little harder to find, but they should give you better life than just the regular standard metal spikes. So here we are, we're moving along with our second course, and we've also added behind the wall, we've added a piece of French drain pipe behind the base course, and now we're going to be adding gravel around and over top of that pipe. It helps to put a mark on the back of the timbers to keep track of where your spikes are when you get up to the next course. So you can see these spikes have been marked on the back of the timber with a pencil mark. That way when we get to the next course we'll know where they are. Okay, driving the last spikes on the wall project. Here we can see the finished product. This will basically allow us to create a soil ramp up to the shed door so that a garden tractor can be driven directly into the shed. So now we have to go get some topsoil. Okay, so our wall is complete. We've used some soil to fill in to create a more even ramp so that a lawn tractor can be driven into this shed. You can see we're getting ready to do some landscaping on the sides of the shed. We don't ordinarily use landscape fabric, but in this case we're using some barn red stone. So we do use fabric underneath stone. And on the lower side here we still have to gather some more plants, since we're now going to landscape along the new wall. Again, it'll be that barn red stone, and the landscaping will extend back along the side of the shed there. We finished doing our shrub planting and laid landscape fabric and put this red barn stone on top, planted a viburnum, 2 hydrangeas, and 3 boxwoods below our new wall, as well as 3 boxwoods on the other side of the shed. Here you can see our soil ramp. We're turning this back into lawn. This area has been seeded and then top dressed with mushroom manure. and some starter fertilizer added to encourage the grass seed off to a good start. Here on the upper side, you see we also used the boxwood and the red barnstone. So, this project is complete. For this episode of BOBscaping, this is Bob.